actually on that top side as well. But with a game of this magnitude, this is the deal for Fnatic. If they pick up this win, they are through no matter what in that first position. So the question is, can Gambit turn it on? Because they're in danger of actually ending up in a tiebreaker here later on against Ozone. So very, very important game from both sides, and you can almost feel that tension here at level 1.
If Gambit are able to turn it on, it's going to look like a bunch of team fights. They've definitely got, they're going to be looking for these team fights around Dragon, areas like this where they can make use of all this area of effect crowd control, whereas Fnatic, true to form, they're going to be looking to split push and pick people off with the crystal arrows and the Fizz damage later once he does get a Sheen into Lichbane. So it's all about map control here for Fnatic, whereas Gambit are going for the large team fights.
Well, it looks like the lane's going to be matched up in traditional style with the Zac versus Renekton on that top side, the duo lanes in the bottom. We can see both junglers starting on the top side of the map here. Cyanide using that smite earlier on, as has Diamond, to get rid of his blue buff as well.
Both junglers starting at the top side, so that means both of them are going to end their routes down bottom. And usually when the junglers end their routes near the duo lanes, they don't go for the early ganks because those are the lanes with the most wards, and most junglers have sort of trained themselves just not to go use time down there very early. They'll probably continue jungling or make their visits mid.
So Cyanide going to finish off this blue. Diamond did the wolf camp actually before he came down onto this bottom side, so he's going to be pushing down there a little bit later, and we'll see where they make their mark on the map.
Yeah, the reason Diamond used his smite early on this blue is because he's just going for that very quick jungle farm. You notice usually people will go from buff to other buff. That's what Cyanide did. But Diamond, having used his smite, just started clearing out the small camps already. So he is slightly ahead of Cyanide right now in terms of jungle speed.
On this bottom lane. Could be an explosive one with those grasping roots in there. Voidal obviously going to become a lot more dangerous a little bit later on in the game once he gets up towards that level 6 area. This mid lane, Alex on Orianna versus Peke on Fizz.
Right now, since Fizz is pushing his turret too, there's definitely going to be no ganks here in the mid lane from Diamond. He is just going for the power clear. So he'll probably come out of the jungle here around level 5 when he does go for his first gank. And it's actually very hard, all of these lanes, because of the Zyra counter-initiate. Peke, it's really dangerous to go for those CS. And as Fizz, you do get poked down very early, so you have to balance that risk versus reward.
A lot of risk from Peke.
A lot of risk, one
risk.
Minion reward.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how that balance all works out in the end, but he's still alive and he didn't lose too much health from it, so we'll let that one slide. Right now, Cyanide actually hanging around here by that middle area. We saw there on the minimap that Diamond is actually headed off home, so he's not going to be in the immediate area in terms of any kind of counter gank. Peke pushing out here though from the turret.
And there are no wards up here for Gambit besides that bottom lane. So Diamond, with his first recall and his hard clear that he did of the jungle, has gotten 2 different wards here, a pink and a green. He'll probably be going to ward up Alex's lane, since Alex is winning his lane right now so easily, and they don't want to let up pressure on Fizz early when Fizz is the weakest. He's going to ward for Alex so that Alex doesn't have to leave his lane at all.
So Cyanide, after hanging around that mid area, did get back off into his jungle and get back onto his farming routes. Alex doing a great job here, more than double the CS right now of Alex. There is Diamond actually pushing up through the Fnatic jungle. Got Cyanide in his sights and he's going to move in there with that Vault Breaker. Actually, the Q will land and Cyanide going aggressive on him here. And just a little bit of a tussle, not really too much damage done. A bit of a power struggle.
Good dodge there for a blind man. And Alex definitely on his last couple CS here. He's run out of potions. His Crystalline Flask is empty. The next chunk of harass that he actually takes from a command attack and shot and dissonance means that he'll probably have to back off after that.
There's the top lane match. Zac versus Renekton, a familiar matchup as Ignite goes down there onto Peke. Not got enough damage to finish him off, but as you said, running out of potions and that crystalline flask is empty. He's got to back off.
Yeah, did I say Alex? I meant Peke. Yeah, Peke going to have to recall now, and that means that Cyanide will have to show in lane. So whenever the jungle does show in lane, your opponent's going to take advantage of you. Diamond's already one up on him, taking out one camp.
So back off for the first time here from Alex Ich. What's he going to come back into that lane with? The Chalice picked up there for Orianna, and boots and wards and more potions as well from that one. So that's a nice shopping trip back home for him.
Yeah, he does not want to have to leave this lane early because Fizz, once he does get that Sheen and into the Lich Bane, then he really starts to become a menace. So they want to delay Fizz's items as long as possible. And you do that by having Alex harass him down with Orianna. I really did like also Diamond's placements of the wards. You place one mid so that Alex can just hug that bottom side, and then you use the other as a pink inside the jungle of Fnatic.
And we just saw Darian actually popping his ultimate there just to put down some more damage onto Soaz. And honestly, this top lane, especially the caliber of the players themselves as well, I don't expect any kills coming down without some interference there from either Diamond or Cyanide. And Renekton versus Zac, pretty much a face bashing lane for a long time.
Yeah, the top lane's pretty classic. Everyone talks about it being an island. It's a dangerous island to be on because they are just smashing their faces against each other. Now they're going to go back for their first buys, though. Renekton getting more tanky means it's just going to be more head bashing.
Actually, Peke had a good amount of time here in this mid lane to farm his way closer at least. He's still more than double CS behind Alex at this point, who's just gone back there to pick off that blue buff. And with that Chalice in there as well, he's not going to have any problems with mana for a while now.
And Alex, after going back for that pink ward, he's actually used his pink ward in the jungle up there on the other side of the lizard buff to protect Diamond from any sort of counter jungling from Cyanide. So he's paid Diamond back for the early warding that Diamond got for him. Diamond has been very outspoken. He's one that hates any sort of vision inside of his jungle. If there are any wards inside his jungle, he'll call for his team to grab pinks and clear it out immediately because he doesn't want anyone to know about the secret operations he performs in there.
Well, right now that secret operation is taking his red buff. And we can see that pink actually on top of the red. I'm not sure if it's just slightly around the corner there or whether Diamond's playing this really smart, knowing that that ward's there. He can almost bait Fnatic with that use.
It's almost even better if you have knowledge of the other team's vision so that you can use that against them. So much of jungling is mind games and playing off of your opponent's knowledge and how much you are aware of their movements, so they can actually try and make use of that as some sort of bait.
No, this top lane, not the most thrilling to watch, that's for sure. We see that that ward has allowed Diamond to go through, but he's going to reveal himself here. Gone straight through while the minions were there anyway. Was a pink ward in that, but what are they going to make the play from here?
Yeah, usually we talk about Vi hitting level 6, guaranteed gank. But look at the team that he's trying to gank. It's a duo lane of Ashe Zyra, which is amazing counter engage, and then Fizz is at middle, who can negate her ultimate. Up top, there's Soaz, who has a revive passive. So instead, they just go straight for the dragon, get the global gold, and don't waste his time ganking a lane.
So wards put down, Cyanide going to be hanging off to the side from this one. We've seen him steal before, but not today. Diamond going to pick that one up, and that's the first major arrow in this game. There's a flash away from Voidal. The arrow just flying on by. Alex was trying to keep Fizz there in that mid lane and away from any trouble. Yellow Star here is going to manage to lock up Genja. Stranglethorn flashed away from there by Genja. And there's a flash in actually from Pushu, which not going to get him anything.
Those were both necessary flashes. Those would have turned into First Bloods. That means the duo lane here for Gambit going to have to watch out. They're going to have to ward very heavily. It's a good thing they already have a ward very deep in Fnatic's jungle because Lee Sin is an amazing jungler at coming at you from different angles. He can actually even come straight through the lane. So even if the bottom lane here has good wards around them, they're going to have to play a little bit more defensively now.
Well, this top side has not had a jungler up there yet. We're 10.5 minutes into this one, and they've just been left to their own devices. Currently, it is Darian that has the advantage over Soaz. Let's call it 100 CS to 80 right now. There's once again that wave getting pushed off towards the turret. Seen a couple of them starting to come back in lane. And look at the AD carries here, because Genja actually picking up that Phage here, first of all. Now, he's been quite happy to go Triforce with champions, which we're not usually used to seeing the Triforce on.
He said that he will go Triforce on every single AD right now, though. So he's very, very big proponent of using that item. And we'll have to say if he actually stays true to his word and does go Triforce on Varus. It actually doesn't build into anything else now, so he's pretty much locked into that. Frozen Mallet item build was changed. No longer Phage necessary.
So, Kobe, do we think it's better than the tier on Varus?
I'd say it's a step up, but just because of the extra mobility that he does get when killing creeps.
Look at this, Fnatic actually walking down towards that bottom side there, both Lucian and Fizz making their way, and a lot of pings going down, and in the end they decide not to go for that one. We're at 12 minutes into this game, no first blood to be seen just yet.
And about that junglers, not going top lane, I guess, for any sort of action up there. One of the biggest parts of jungling is also not getting yourself into a pattern and not being predictable. If you do the same thing multiple games over, then the good junglers will scout you, and they will predict your movements, and they will come for counter ganks, just like the ones that we're setting up here. So it's especially something that I've seen Loveland really excel at. Probably my favorite jungler of the tournament so far. He has not done the same thing multiple times. There's the arrow initiate!
Oh, this is bad news. First blood coming down there to push you, and it happens so incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, Peke here onto Alex in that mid lane. Command Protect comes down, but Peke's going for this one. He's going to flash in. Shockwave comes down, but Peke will pick up the kill. Tower's not going to be enough to get that one back. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Diamond in trouble. He goes very, very low from that one as well, and all close stuff, but that immediate explosion of Voidal there. They were stood in the brush as human walls to see that one coming, but the arrow's faster.
We talked about the bottom lane having to play defensively even if they have wards, and they didn't right there. This one was just an outplay in mid. Beautiful job here by Peke. He continues to chase under the turret. The damage over time actually gets turret aggro onto him, and then saving his playful trickster for the shockwave to jump right over it.
So incredibly well done there by XPK. And let's have a look where that actually leaves us in the grand scheme of things here. 2-0 in kills for Fnatic, but still behind here on gold technically. That Dragon obviously going overall to Gambit earlier on, and also ahead nicely in the CS on all fronts actually.
Yeah, Gambit, even after losing those 2 kills, Gambit's got a very substantial gold lead here. I mean, it's basically the Fizz versus Orianna matchup that's going the way that it's expected to. Fizz loses very hard in CS, and then comes out with the first kill just because he has that kill potential. Like I talked about that Sheen, he's also rushed Short Boots, so it's an even earlier extra damage there for him.
And his bottom lane, Genja did come back after seeing his support die a little bit earlier on. The second blue buffs of the game, or third blue buffs I guess we can say, technically going over to the mid laners here once again. Right now though, Soaz is moving down.
He's getting into position here, and it's because they have the flash already blown for Alex that Soaz is very confident making this roam.
Oh, there's the jump in. Oh, this is bad news again for Alex. The ulti coming down. He will shockwave, but it's not going to save him. Let's bounce was going on there by Soaz as well. And Fnatic executing absolutely perfectly once again.
Yep, good call because of the no flash there. Making Alex pay once again. But a huge creep wave, full creep wave, was lost for Soaz up in that top lane. Darian did at least shove that wave into the turret before he roamed down. So they were making Fnatic pay a little bit.
Oh, arrow coming out again here on towards Voidal. Yellow Star through his full combo out there. Trying to hook him up with the grasping roots and then throw the strangle thorns down on top. Voidal, though, using his flash pretty much instantly as it came on cooldown.
And that gank was a little bit early here. If they had waited, 15 seconds or so, then a dragon would be spawned, and they could turn that large chunk of damage into something else. But because it's going to be another few seconds, Fnatic happy to wait on their cooldowns again. The Ashe Zyra combo of the ultis is very, very important for the Fnatic Dragon fight.
Look at the damage there coming out from Peke on towards that top outer turret. Still no turret's gone down while we're on that front. Peke diving in towards Alex again. Has that Chum the Waters up and available for himself. He's now got that Faith bashing lane moving over towards the middle as Orianna and Fizz did a little bit of battle at the top. But, you know, despite the fact that Alex is obviously ahead in CS there, that's really the only thing going in his favor at this stage.
They're happy with the CS leads, though, because money that you earn from CS is a lot safer than money that you earn from killing people, because if Fnatic rack up multiple kills, if there's one more kill on Peke, oh, here we go, Alex taking hits.
Yeah, once again knocked up in the air there by Chum the Waters, and Peke picks up kill number 3 on towards Alex. Meanwhile, down in the Dragon area, we did see the Dragon picked up by Fnatic. There's Let's Bounce coming in by Soaz. Darian trying to get away, will flash over. Soaz going to follow him, but he's now in front of 3 men. Crescendo will lock him up. There's Cell Division going to be popped, but can they finish him off? No, they can't. Arrow coming in from Pushu. There is Assault and Battery, plus the ulti out of Genja. They're going to know. Cyanide flashing away. Soaz dives back in. Flash away on the bottom side from Diamond. Chaos!
Pushu was thinking about flashing over for about 20 seconds there. He was sitting in the back of the Dragon, did not want to come over to join the fight. Then finally does, and his target disappears.
Crazy, crazy stuff there down by Dragon, but crazy stuff that's working out so well for Fnatic. They took down the Dragon. They made it 5 kills now. They take the upper outer turret, the top lane outer turret, and the bottom lane outer turret in one swift sweep.
Right, that top turret, I was just talking about the kill bounties racking up for Fnatic, and Peke does get his 3rd kill. So for Gambit, they're at least looking to get a little bit of extra gold if they're actually ever able to take down Peke. He's now got a bounty on his head.
So let's have a look down some of the items that are now finished after that. You can see that Fnatic gaining themselves finally that gold lead back. Lichbane, he's done. Peke throwing his ulti out here again, and feels like Chum the Waters has not really been on cooldown.
There's an interesting thing with Chum the Waters that you can actually throw it much shorter. It's not, it won't go the full line of the skill shot, and he just flubbed it on the ground right there.
Well, I'll give him that because that's the first one out of, well, that was his 4th.
He does have 3 kills.
And he's got the 3 kills to show for it with that Lichbane now finished off. The 2 AD carries will look at Pushu here. Got that Infinity Edge now done. Other side, BF Sword added in for Genja.
Genja with the BF Sword after that phage. I guess he's not going with the Trinity Force. Just wanted the extra move speed from the phage, and now he's going to go with a more standard build from Varus. Either that or he's just delaying his Trinity Force a very, very long time.
Well, Fnatic right now are trying to get a hold of Gambit's jungle. That blue buff is up and available. We can see that Gambit moving around as a team as Voidal. Going to take a lot of damage here from Zyra. There is Soaz. He's going to dive into the middle of them. Where is Let's Bounce? He's got it available, but deciding here to probably back away. There are more Gambit members there than I think they expected here, Fnatic. Darian did use that Dominus, and that will force Fnatic at least away for now.
I want to see Fnatic call for a cross-court arrow, but he just used it bottom in the duel with Genja.
Yeah, and it is a duel where Genja's going to flash in. Oh, barrier Bateson! Oh, he got the kill. He will go down anyway. And that just fits the theme of this game. Chaotic and crazy.
Genja, I mean, everyone always talks about how passive of an AD Genja is. Here we go, Soaz initiates.
Oh, there's a brilliant shockwave. Crescendo follows up. Stranglethorn's coming in. Cyanide trying to walk away as it kicks Diamond off, but Peke is chasing down Alex somehow, getting behind his turret, but he'll get the kill there. Peke falling low, but he's looking for another one here. Voidal falls as well. There is the shutdown, but Peke under pressure gets the double. Meanwhile, blue buff had been started off. Yellow Star now has to back away. They've got Diamond here chasing in as well. They'll be happy, though, to sew up the control of the blue, which might not be quite as controlled as they think. Soaz is waiting.
Oh, Soaz is going to come in for this one. Darian's right behind him. Darian also just got the shutdown gold on Peke. So Darian just got a huge amount of money in all of this scramble down here. He's going to be a very tanky Renekton.
Well, let's have a look at that messy fight again by the blue buff.
Okay, so this was a good shockwave into Crescendo, but Peke was not hit by any of this CC. He gets around behind, and because Yellow Star was able to knock up 3 people with his Zyra ultimate, it gave Peke the time he needed to not only kill Alex, but also get enough damage down onto Voidal. The dot from his auto attack going to finish him off.
Game over there for Voidal for a second time in this game. If we look at Alex, definitely not having the best game of his life at this point. Still holds a 40 CS lead, but is now 0-4-1 there. We can see the gold difference between the two. I don't want to say too massive at this point, but at the same time, we're only 20 minutes into the game, and he's already slipping quite far behind.
The scariest point of any Fizz is when he gets not only the Lich Bane, but also the Zhonya's Hourglass after that, because then he has the burst potential to assassinate someone because of Lich Bane. Plus, he can get another round of abilities off when he comes out of his Hourglass, so he becomes very frustrating to fight because he has 2 different abilities that make him untargetable, and he can escape after he kills you.
And Genja doesn't want to be the one to probably go up against him at this point of things. We saw him now finishing off that Bloodthirster. As we mentioned, went for the Phage first, then off towards that Bloodthirster. Second of all, seeing another couple of items being picked up. Both top laners got that Sunfire Cape in. We see the Spirit Visage for Darien on the other side, so as working exactly the same route.
Yeah, Genja definitely doesn't want to fight Peke, especially having blown his summoners in that 1v1 battle with Pushu down bottom. The Phage is going to give him a lot of extra movement speed that he'll try and use to kite Fizz. Cheeky little steal there from Peke.
That's the problem with the Fizz, right? He comes in, you think, okay, look, he's totally out of position. Let's get him. Oh, we can't actually do anything to him at that point. Peke getting away with completely full health remaining. Right now, they're moving on towards inner turrets here. Of course, all 3 outers already down for Fnatic. We can see them working away slowly but surely on this inner turret, which is going to move from slowly and surely to just surely here in just a second, with all 5 men from Fnatic there for the pickup.
Gambit are closing in, though, and we do have Vi flanking on the outside. If Vi can get her Assault and Battery onto Pushu with Alex's ball on top of him, that would be the ideal situation to start this off, because he's not looking to ulti Peke. We've already been over the fact that Peke can avoid it.
And has managed to avoid it as well. Dragon is now up and available. We see a lot of pink wards on that side of the map from Gambit here. Fnatic going to be going home, though, and spending a little bit of cash that they've been building up. The men that didn't go back from Fnatic just going to make sure that Gambit can't push this mid lane back in their direction and take out what would be only the second turret of the game. Gambit have started Dragon, though.
And they do have vision of Fnatic. Diamond, though, is the only one in the pit. It's going to take them a little bit longer here to finish it off. It looks like they're going to be able to grab this one. So some global gold back in the favor of Gambit. Still a very close game here.
Yeah, 1,000 gold is all that separates them here, despite that 4-1 in turret leads and the 8-3 kill lead that Fnatic are currently holding. Thanks to the great job that they've done here across all lanes, even in the jungle, being ahead on CS.
As we look later, too, you know, Pushu has just finished his last Whisper after Infinity Edge, getting that one extremely early because he's going to be hitting Darien, and we just talked about how much money Darien got in that last skirmish. Wants to be able to take down the front line. He does not want to get into this team fight at all. Actually, if he builds a 3rd item defensive Banshee's Veil, I wouldn't criticize him too much, because as long as he has that Banshee's Veil to avoid Vi's Assault and Battery, he can stay very far back in this lineup.
So a bit more of a quiet period. We see that Gambit spending a lot of money on pink wards here. We saw the 3 down by Dragon. They've got 3 now on the top side of their jungle as well. They want to maintain complete vision control of their side of the map. And with those outer towers down, the only real way to do that is to get those wards going. Oh, Darien, they're just going out on towards Soaz once to get him back to way. And we've got Boots of Swiftness now picked up here for Darien.
So he definitely wants to be getting back there over to Pushu. Going to avoid a lot of the slows, both from Zyra as well as from Cyanide.
This could get messy once again, looking almost like an instant replay from earlier on, as Soaz is going to dive in. Arrow goes down as well. Diamond taking a lot of damage. There's a Stranglethorns, knocks them up. Shockwave comes down, but there's the kill for Soaz. Where are they going next? On towards Genji, who has to flash away on the side. There's a Zhonya's from Peke, and right now, all of the men from Gambit here flashing very, very low. Fnatic trying to come in there to keep these ones going. Soaz being protected by the rest of his team, but Cyanide comes around the back, kicks Genji in there. Double kill for Peke. Only Alex survived in that one, and Fnatic didn't lose a man.
Diamond getting chunked down very early and having to use Assault and Battery on Soaz to reposition himself and try and get out of that fight meant they had nothing to get down on Pushu, and there was no answer left. Diamond here already down to a quarter life. Then he has to ulti Soaz, nothing left. The Shockwave doesn't get Pushu either. Ashe is free firing from the back line. Then we see Cyanide start to make his move down around behind Gambit as they're already chasing them into their own base. Genji's going to get knocked in the head back. Because Soaz had his revive passive, not even this very tanky Renekton could sustain as much damage as him coming back together with Globlets.
So Baron was done there while we were looking through that replay. And one thing that we saw in that fight there, the crescendo, it hit Yellow Star. Then the Chain of Corruption hit Yellow Star and didn't spread out as they would have liked for them there as well. So they lost a lot of that CC that is so strong, I think, really, in this Gambit lineup, especially when you're fighting in the jungle like that. It's almost it's harder to miss than it is
exactly.
to hit.
The target they're going for, Pushu. Assault and Battery didn't hit him. Shockwave didn't hit him. Corruption didn't hit him. Crescendo didn't hit him. That's all four. Didn't hit him with any of them.
Something for Gambit to really improve on from this one. They're now slipping further behind in the goal. That Baron on for Gambit, for Fnatic, going to make them all the more stronger. We saw that Sonya's in the last fight for Peke, allowing him to lose a lot of that damage that was coming his way. And also credit to Cyanide for sewing up that last kill onto Genji as well, coming right around the bottom side of them and kicking him back into the rest of the team. What are we going to see as the next step here? Inventory in the mid and the bottom lanes are still open. We can see that Fnatic just trying to grasp that control with a lot of wards down in the Gambit jungle.
It's exactly what they need to do, because Baron, or we don't have the Baron timer up yet. Never mind, I can't remember. They're wearing Baron. They're going to try and assassinate Darien down here in the bush.
Well, Darien is what you would call far up and maybe out of position on the map here from this one. Going to try and get himself away. Oh, he's missed the short waters. The turret's actually hammering away here on towards Darien.
Those boots of speed.
Yeah, boots of swift. Oh, there's Soaz come diving in from the top. Darien does not care right now. He is headed up towards the fountain. And he's still going.
Hey, go back to that.
He's a quick crocodile. He's a quick crocodile, but in this mid lane, Alex in trouble. He's going to get kicked back there. Pushu going to focus. There's a Shockwave. Catches three of them, but will that be enough? Chain of Corruption comes down. Stranglethorns on top of it, and Diamond here at the back, trying to do his best, is now going to be focused down as Peke forgets about Darien and comes to join the fight. 4 men die. Funnily enough, Darien survived.
All right, so they got Pushu this time, but Peke rotated down much quicker than Darien did, because Darien was running for his life and easily turned around there for Fnatic.
Yeah, you have to wonder about that one, really. Darien being the tanky man in this team. Okay, he drew Peke away, but Peke split off from him there at exactly the right time to come in and sew up that fight. Right now, they're focusing on the first inhibitor turret of the game. Gambit will be coming up here, though. And only Genji remains dead at this point. But it's going to mean that that inner turret on the bottom lane is available for the taking now.
Inhibitor exposed, and Fnatic probably going to back off on this one. Spend all that money that they just got. Actually, they have Pushu joining them down here. So they're just going to wait for Ashe to return. This is going to be a semi-Fnatic push. They're trying to use Yellow Star as bait. Don't think Gambit are going to be tricked, though, because they know this team very well.
Oh, Darien can get rooted up from this one, and see he loses pretty much half of his health there, and he's not really the one.
Genja's up top right now, too.
Oh, Arrow coming in, Diamond gonna get focused up there. There's a jump in, the Shockwave, not really doing enough for them. Alex will use his Onions, but as soon as he comes out, he's a focus. He gets popped down. Diamond will face the same, and there is Darien still trying to escape. This time, though, they're going to chase him down. He's escaped once, but not a second time. Triple kill for Peke. And where is Genja? He's in the top lane. The farm is great.
Genja was showing in that top lane at the very beginning of that fight, and Fnatic have the tower diving team right now. Genja's just still pushing up there.
Might want to come back. Just saying.
I don't know. Yeah, treading inhibitor there. He can't defend anything by himself.
That's true.
So I guess he's just decided to get a few more minions, wait for the death timers to come back up.
Well, for that, they're going to lose both inhibitors here, that bottom lane and the mid lane. And this is Fnatic's game to lose right here.
Yeah, and Fnatic, they have, like I said, this is the tower diving team. Start that off with Crystal Arrow into the slingshot. Said so many times, but they just go right for it. Anytime you show it's a 4 versus 5 situation against this team, they're going to pull that dive every single time. The arrow, even though it hits Darien, the tankiest member, Peke got all the way into the back, and Zanya's the shockwave. So there was no answer here for Gambit. Fnatic clean up, even with Pushu tanking turret hits at the back of this fight. They dive between 2 turrets here and finish off Darien as well. As we know, Genja, not on screen, but he's getting money for the team.
Yes.
1 minion at a time.
1 minute at a time. He's bringing them back into this one. It's 10,000 gold lead now, by the way, for Fnatic after all that went down. Baron is going to be respawning here in 1.5 minutes time as well. So that's going to be nice. You'd imagine for Fnatic. I can't really see Gambit being able to really fight for this one. If you look at some of the items that have come up recently, it's all very, very scary. DFG added in now for Xpeke, so that's probably the missing ingredient that he needs to finish off Darien earlier on.
Yeah, he could definitely even just burst down pretty much the tankiest member of Gambit now. With that much firepower, everybody's got to be scared.
Oh, Diamond there, getting a little bit far out, just trying to push that lane back up. Fnatic squeezing the pressure on every single lane right now. It's going to be this top lane, of course, that's the focus. That's the only one with a turret left in it outside the inhibitor. Let's see what they do. Are they going to go in? Peke just sitting there on the steps, looking generally menacing. And obviously, when you see that on your steps, you're like, we just want to kill him right now. But it's not quite that easy. Peke with that Zonya's in there now as well. Gambit really holding on by a thread in this game, we have to say.
Fnatic, they have the potential to tower dive just like they did before, but they definitely don't have to because they have 2 lines of super minions coming in. It's Gambit who started off.
Well, they managed to get a 2-man shockwave there. Pushu is going to go down. Let's see if this changes the outcome of the fight. Genja going low with the let's bounce on. There's a chain of corruption holding up Peke, but he dodges a piercing arrow, dives in on towards Genja, and now Darien will be the focus from this one. We still have a Zonyas here available for Peke if they decide to keep going. That turret got minions on it. This should be the 3rd inhibitor.
Great job here by Fnatic. I have to say, everyone chose Gambit to win this game because of the record. But it looks like Gambit's win streak is about to run out here as Fnatic have a tremendous lead in this game.
Looking so very good. 23-5 kills. Darien, we know him as a man who gets easily frustrated when his team's behind and just goes for it. Well, he didn't actually die when he was in that position here today. Now he's moving out on towards Soaz. In the end, I think he realized that the rest of the team might be headed back his way. Meanwhile, super minions streaming in from this bottom and the middle lane going on towards those Nexus turrets. Alex managing to save it just about, but it gives Fnatic so much time here to pick up free Baron. Darien is going to face check. This is surely a dead Darien. He's knocked up. He's controlled from all kinds of angles. Oh, flashes away though. And will he live? Will the Crocodile manage to escape this one? Arrow comes flying through, misses everyone. Diamond coming in to help him out. Darien is still alive. He got kicked over the wall. He's alive, and now Diamond's going to pay the price. Great teammate, but Darien somehow lived through that one. There is Soaz. He's going to bounce on in. Good crescendo from Voidal will stop the rest of Fnatic, but they're finally going to get in there. 3-man shockwave comes down. Peke using the Zonyas. Soaz didn't die because of cell division, and now Darien is healed up and he's back on track.
Yeah, did I say Gambit's on the win streak against Fnatic before? I pretty much
we
meant
all
the
knew
opposite.
what you meant, though.
And they're going to extend that win streak. There we go.
I can't believe Darien actually lived through that.
All right, well, that's going to be 3 inhibitors down, though.
Yeah. he might not live through it next time around. Baron is available here for Fnatic. They took that fight. I say fight, it was just try and kill Darian, really. But this time around, they are going to be settling in on that one. Peke did actually head off home, picked himself up, you know, just a void staff.
Just a void staff. All right, even more penetration could be added to that build. But Darren, this is the escape that you're talking about. Good flash over the wall, then this slight sidestep right there. Just barely avoiding. This one was, that one was luck. He just kept running. Straight line right there. Diamond comes in to block this. And the kick over from Cyanide. Helping Darien get out alive.
Luckiest Crocodile EU. Not often you see that kind of escape coming in. I'm sure he was laughing at that point as well. So, back into the game then. Baron was, of course, taken by Fnatic while we're having another look at Darian's miraculous escape from that one. And you have to feel that it's a matter of time at this point before Fnatic pile on so much pressure. There are no inhibitors. I say there are no inhibitors left. They've just respawned. So I'm telling a little bit of a lie on that one, but they're open inhibitors for the taking for Fnatic.
And look at this Soaz here. Not only is he a beastly tank at the point on Zach right now, but he also has his Leandries that he got pretty early on. So he's really good at initiating those fights and getting that max health percentage burn on the whole team at the start.
Oh, they're going in on to Butcher. The shockwave actually locking him up there. Alex going to be focused at the back. Peke is off diving in the back as well. He managed to get both the AD carry and support. This time around, Darian's not going to survive. This should be game right here. There is the Zhonya's. Alex losing 3/4 of his health. There's the last quarter for the ace here for Fnatic. And they will pick up another win here against Gambit and secure their spot in the playoffs as they all dive into the turret just for fun. Zhonya's, and there is the Nexus. Brilliant win from Fnatic once again.